Hello, scholars. Yesterday we learned how to add mixed numbers without any regrouping. Remember, we could just add our fraction pieces and add our wholes and we were done. Today we're going to learn how to add mixed numbers where we might have to regroup our pieces. So let's see what that's going to look like. If I have 2 2/3 plus 3 3 2/3. And again, I'm going to show you how I'm going to model it and how I'm going to use an equation for this one. So first is our model. So first I'm going to model 2 2/3. So remember, I do my wholes and I break it up into thirds because my denominator is 3. And since it's a whole, I'm going to shade in the whole thing. Then when I do my 2/3 part of this number, this mixed number, I'm going to put it over here on this side. Kind of like when I do my equation, right? I put my pieces on one side and my wholes on the other. And I'm going to shade in 2 of those thirds. So I used this color for this mixed number. Now I'm going to model 3 2/3. So I have 1, 2, 3 wholes. Then I'm going to break up into my thirds. I'll grab a different color to represent 3 2/3. So I have 1 whole, 1 whole, 1 whole. Now's where it gets a little trickier. I have to add my 2/3. Remember, I always start with my pieces that I already made, right? So I already made 2/3 here. I'm going to add 2 more thirds. But I'm noticing I only have 1/3 there that I can shade in. So I added 1 of those thirds. I'm going to have to draw another model of thirds to represent my second third there. So we had to regroup, we had to make another whole to add all of our pieces. So now I'm going to see how many wholes do I have and how many fraction pieces do I have. So I have 1 whole, 2 wholes, 3 wholes, 4 wholes, 5 wholes, 6 wholes, right? Because those 3/3 made another whole. And then I made another group to represent that last third, which equals 1/3. So my answer is 6 wholes and 1/3. Now I'm going to show you how to do that with the equation. So again, just like we did before we were regrouping, we're going to line up our fraction pieces with our whole pieces. So I add my fraction pieces first. I have 2/3 plus 2/3 gets me 4/3. And then 2 wholes plus 3 wholes equals 5 wholes. Here's where it gets a little tricky because I have 5 4/3. I can't leave it like this because 4/3 is greater than 1 whole. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take out a whole from this. I know that 1 whole, if I look over here, is 1, 2, 3/3. And I know that 3/3 plus 1/3 equals my 4/3 that I have right there. So this right here equals 1 whole. So I have 5 wholes plus 1 more whole plus my 1/3, which would get me 6 1/3. So when I add my mixed numbers together, these two, I get 6 1/3.